Welcome guys, it's Becky here. So I made a video yesterday, realized that I was basically screaming and Darth Vader breathing into my mic. So I'm just gonna put it down a little lower. It's a learning curve for me making videos, so bear with me. I just want to bring yoga to you all. And today I'm going to teach a class basically on the fly. I haven't warmed up or anything this morning, so pretty stiff, and we'll just see what kind of stretches and what types of movement feel good. And as always, make sure that you listen to your body. Make use of whatever props you have at home. I have found a photo album that is a nice square shape, pretty stable, that I can put my hand on. Also, yoga blocks are always cool. And look, I have a yoga wheel, which I guess I'll just set to the side. Also, I have a bench nearby, so if you have chairs, whatever you want. And today, let's start off in Tadasana, mountain pose. And you can be standing at the front of your mat, facing your computer screen. But I'm going to stand right here for the sake of the video. And maybe have a block or a book in front of you for later. Coming into our Tadasana, mountain pose, start from the ground up. So, starting at our Tadasana pose at the front of our mats, let's start from the ground up. Widen the toes, feel out all four corners of your feet, stack the ankles, the knees, the hips, and gently firm your leg muscles into your skeleton. Think about elevating the rib cage up while relaxing the neck muscles down, lengthening your fingertips down towards the earth, palms facing forward, anatomic alignment. You can focus your gaze on a point in front of you or blink the eyes closed. And start to tune into the rhythm of your body, how your body feels in space. With each inhale, a lengthening of the crown of the head. With each exhale, rooting down through the soles of our feet. Tadasana. Feeling as though we're being stretched between the earth and the sky. Maybe you can tap in to your sense of purpose for today. How you can bring something a little better into this world, perhaps some love, support, kindness, or maybe giving yourself the space to breathe and heal. On your next inhale, blink the eyes open. Reach both arms overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more, just like that, to your own breath. Inhale, fill the bottom of the ribs. Exhale, hands to heart center, settling into the moment. Last one, inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, breath, hands to heart center. Bring hands to your hips. And now I want you to notice your pelvis. Imagine it like a bowl of soup, making sure that you're not spilling forward in an anterior pelvic tilt, like this saggy back here. But at the same time, we don't want to be spilling backwards, hunching, tucking the tailbone. So, extend down from the pubic bone and the tailbone. Keep lifting the ribs up and knitting those front ribs into the body, a gentle squeeze of the abdomen. Now, walk your feet wide, point your toes out, bring hands to hips, and just start to rock back and forth in these shallow flying monkey type legs. And then point the toes out, inhale, reach up, thumbs touch. Exhale, sweep the fingertips to touch. Inhale, reach the arms up. Stay nice and shallow at first, lubricating the joints. When you inhale and reach up, make sure you don't stick that tailbone out. Keep knitting the ribs in. On our next exhale, bend into the knees. Set your hands on the tops of your thighs. Dip your right shoulder forward. Dip your left shoulder forward. Ooh, I got a crack out. Come back to center. Open the arms wide, palms up. Now is a good time to pay attention to the pelvis, making sure you're not spilling your bowl of soup forward or backwards. Then inhale, reach up, point the toes forward, feet are parallel. Exhale, bring your hands behind you. You can clasp the hands or you can bring fists together. Exhale, fold over the legs. You can have a deep bend into the knees, sway from side to side. Either your hands are in two fists together or the hands are clasped. Wherever you're at, release your fists or the clasp of your hands. Plant your hands beneath you on a book or blocks or fingertips. Plant your right hand down. Bend into your left knee, inhale your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Now when we twist, our right hip likes to drop and follow along. Keep that right hip lifted. So it's like you could set a cup of tea on the back of your sacrum. Exhale, breath, lower the left hand down. Bring hands to hips, firm up the tops of your thighs. With a long spine, rise all the way up to standing. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, drop your left hand down your left leg, reach the right hand up and over to your left. Gaze goes up. If it feels good, you can bend that right elbow, reaching your right hand to the middle of your back. Inhale, back to center, both arms go up. Exhale, draw the right hand down your right leg. Reach your left hand up and over to the left. Look up. You can bend that left elbow if that feels good, placing your left palm in between your shoulder blades. Inhale, back to center, arms go up. Exhale your arms to your side. You can either clasp your hands the opposite way this time or bring fists together behind your back. Inhale to keep the chest lifted. Exhale, fold between the legs. It's early in the morning. You can have a bend in your knees. Sway the torso from side to side. You can shake the head yes and no. Imagine any tension seeping out the crown of your head. Eventually, release your clasp of the hands. Place the hands directly beneath your shoulders. Extend the crown of the head forward. Plant your left hand down on fingertips or a block. Inhale your right hand up towards the ceiling. A nice bend into the right knee. Grip your yoga mat with your left foot. Make sure that left hip is lifted a little so it's in line with the right. With your inhale breath, think about lengthening through the crown of your head and extending back through your tailbone. With each exhale, maybe you drive the twist a little more from the back of your left rib cage. And exhale, lower your right hand down. With your hands on blocks, point your toes out. Start to go through some flying monkeys, bending into your right knee, then the left. Start really shallow. No rush to get into those hips. Now let's meet in a straddle fold. Parallel the feet, bring hands to the hips, rise all the way up to standing. Bend into your knees, step your feet together, coming into Tadasana at the front of our mats. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, fold over the legs into forward fold, Uttanasana. On your next inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Come up with your hands on fingertips or blocks. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. 2 more times to your own breath. Inhale to lift up halfway. Keep knitting the ribs in, sliding the back ribs forward. Exhale, fold. Last one. Inhale, Ardha, lift halfway. Stack your sit bones over your heels. Exhale, plant the hands. Step your right foot back, followed by the left. Let's find a nice and easy down dog. Pedal out the heels. Now let's start to find some stillness and hone in on our alignment. You can have the fingertips pointing slightly out. Press a lot into your thumb pad and index knuckle. Think about wrapping the back of your elbows, the scratchy part of your elbows, towards your knees. And firm the triceps towards your nose. You can have a slight bend in the knees, but be heavy through the heels and spiral your inner thighs back. Now if that chest gets saggy, lift the chest up, knit the ribs in, bring the ears in line with the upper arms. Focus your gaze. Now on your next inhale, lift the right leg up to 3-legged dog and let's circle out that right ankle. Get those creaks out. And as you exhale, now draw your right knee into your chest, pause. Push the earth away with your hands, feel the arms get longer. Suck that right thigh up towards your ribs. Now, how slow can you go? Exhale breath. Using the strength of your core, lower your right shin bone all the way to the mat. Press down through that left heel, give your left calf a little stretch. And then press the top of your right foot into the mat. Inhale, extend your right arm long, lift your left leg up, spinal balance. Keep shining that right hip down, pointing those. Keep shining your left hip, people, left hip down. Reach your right hand forward. Oh, we've been here a while. Exhale, bring elbow to the knee, pause. Inhale, lengthen back out. Set your left foot down, set your right hand down. Inhale, reach your right leg up to 3-legged dog. Exhale, step your right foot up towards your right thumb. Runner's lunge. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step the left foot up to meet the right. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lift halfway. Exhale, breath, fold. Press down through your feet. Inhale, breath, rise all the way up to standing. Reach the arms up, come high up onto your toes. Press through those big toe mounds. Widen your toes, get the pinky toe involved, focus your gaze. Remember to keep knitting those ribs into the body. And exhale, release the heels, hands to heart center, fold into forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lift halfway. Exhale breath, plant the hands. Let's step our left foot back, followed by the right, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. On your next inhale, pull forward into plank pose. Let's be here for 5 breaths. So what's going on in our plank? It's like a prep pose for handstand, so that's the first thing that's happening here. Let's stack our heels over the toes. Press into the index knuckle and the thumb pad. Wrap the back of your elbows towards your knees. Extend the crown of the head forward, lengthen your tailbone back. Pick up that belly into the body. Now, press into your palms, squeegee them in towards you, light up those lats and serratus anterior. Ooh, you should feel some shaking. One more breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, lower the knees down. Let's sit back into a child's pose. 3 breaths. You can bring the knees wider together. Keep pressing into your palms, lifting the back of your arms. Root down through those sit bones. Press into the palms. Drag your back ribs forward to lengthen your spine. Press into your palms. Inhale back through tabletop. And flow through 3 cycles of cat-cows. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. I think there's one more. Last one to your own breath. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Let's meet back in tabletop. Walk your hands forward, one hand print. Exhale breath, lower all the way to your belly. Hug those elbows close by your ribs. Set your forearms flat on your mat in the number 11 shape for Sphinx pose. Press into your palms, press into the forearms, drag them in towards your body as you peel those back ribs forward and up. Lengthen your tailbone back towards the heels. Keep pressing through the tops of your feet, firming those inner ankles in. Look over your right shoulder. Look over your left shoulder. And then look straight ahead and bring the chin to your chest. Come back to a neutral neck position. Lower all the way to your belly. Bring your arms wide. Bump up onto those left fingertips. Bend your left elbow, pointing it towards the ceiling. Bend your left knee. Roll onto your right hip. Kick that left foot over to the right. Resting your right ear on your mat. On your next exhale, roll back onto your belly. Lengthen that left arm long. Place your left ear on your mat. Bump up onto your right fingertips. Point your right elbow towards the ceiling. Bend your right knee. Roll onto your left hip. Roll back to center. Bring hands in line with the low ribs. Turn under toes. Let's press up through kneeling plank. Then exhale, hips go high, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. On your next inhale, lengthen your left leg up to 3-legged dog. Lift from your left inner thigh. Press evenly through both hands. Circle out your left ankle. Now exhale, draw your left knee into the chest, pause. Pick up that left thigh towards your chest. Now, using the strength of your core, let's work the negative by slowly lowering our left shin bone all the way down. And then give your right calf a little stretch by pressing down through that right heel. And now let's work some spinal balances. Reach your left hand forward, lift your right leg. Imagine like you're pressing the sole of your right foot into a wall behind you. Drag your right hand in towards the body. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee, suck everything in and up. Inhale, extend the limbs long. Set your left hand down. With a straight right leg, lower your right toes to the mat. Inhale, lift your left leg up to three-legged dog. Exhale, breath. Step your left foot to the front of your mat. Inhale, look forward, high lunge. Exhale, step the right foot up to meet the left. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold over the legs. Press down through your feet. Inhale, breath, rise all the way up to standing. Arms go overhead. Come all the way up on toes. Focus your gaze. 5 breaths here. You're going to be able to reach so many shelves. Last breath. So much control. Exhale, release the heels, hands to heart center. Now, place your weight on the right foot. Bend your left knee, find 2 90-degree angles here. Level off your pelvis, like there's a leveler. Make sure that the left hip is not lifted. With your hands at heart center, bring inner thighs to touch. Extend the crown of the head forward. Soft bend in your standing leg. As you press that left foot back behind you, find a warrior 3. Now is a good time to use a chair if you have it close by, or blocks. Focus your gaze. Same idea as our spinal balances. That left inner thigh swivels up towards the ceiling as that left hip shines down. Now, moving ever so slowly, think before you move. Deep bend into your right knee. Take a giant step back with your left foot. Plant the hands on either side of your right foot. Plant your left hand down on fingertips or blocks. Inhale, reach your right hand up towards the ceiling. Let the twist come from your upper back. Make sure you level off your pelvis. That left hip likes to drop. Firm that right hip into the midline. Set your back knee down. Inhale, rise to low lunge. Traction that right heel in towards your body. Clasp opposite elbows overhead. And start to gently lean back as you engage the front of your core, giving a nice slight back bend. Maybe you look up. Exhale, breath. Lower down, plant the hands. Lift up that back knee. Step the right foot back to meet the left, plank pose. Now, from plank or kneeling plank, Let's lower all the way to our bellies. Press into the tops of your feet. Press into the palms, draw the elbows back and in. Slide the back ribs forward, inhale, lift into cobra. Remember to lengthen your tailbone back. Exhale, lower down, turn under toes. You can press up through kneeling plank or lift the kneecaps, squeeze the thighs, stiff as a board. Press up through plank. Then exhale, hips go high. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Recalibrate. Practice the skill of settling your mind before you make your next move. Now, inhale, come super high onto your toes. Exhale, bend the knees, bear pose. Shin bones come parallel with our mat. Press the chest towards the tops of the thighs. Keep pressing into the palms and lifting the back of your arms. Keep those ears in line with the arms. Inhale, lift the hips, straighten out the legs. Exhale, back into our downward facing dog. Now, as we make our way to the front of our mat, you can either hop or you can step to the front of your mat. If you're hopping, come high into your toes. Exhale into bear pose, look forward. Super light on your feet, hop to the front of your mat. Inhale to lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, breath, we fold. Press down through your feet, inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now take your mind's eye to the bottom of your feet. Widen the toes, stack the joints, focus your gaze. Place your weight into your left foot, bend your right knee out in front of you. Level off those hips. Start to bring the inner thighs to touch. Extend the crown of the head forward. Soft bend in your standing leg as you press that right foot back to warrior 3. Draw your left outer hip in line with your left ankle and point that right hip down. Keep picking up those front hip points so that we have lots of space in this left hip crease. Focus your gaze. Think before you move. Deep bend into your standing leg. Extend that right foot back. Plant your hands, find a runner's lunge, left side. Setting your right hand down, inhale, lift your left hand up for a twist. You can always get that right hand on a block or book. Now notice how I like to sink into my ligaments here. I want you to find a firm foundation in your legs. Squeeze inner thighs together. Level off that right and left hip so you have a nice flat sacrum. Set your back knee down. Inhale up to low lunge. You can have those back toes turned under. Clasp your elbows overhead, the funny way this time. And then start to lean back, remembering to keep sucking those front ribs into the body, even as we start to bend. Exhale, slow with control, come back to neutral, plant your hands, turn under back toes, lift your back knee, step back to plank pose. This time you can lower down through kneeling plank into your cobra, or you can lower down to chaturanga. Pausing halfway with your elbows just shy of 90, Velcro those elbows into your side ribs. Inhale, press through the tops of your feet. Lift the chest, upward facing dog. Keep spiraling the inner thighs up, lengthen your tailbone back. Drag your hands into your body as you extend the back ribs forward. Exhale, breath will meet in downward facing dog. 3 breaths in our Adho Mukha Svanasana. Last breath here, all together. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, come high into the toes. Look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, bear pose. You can step or hop to the front of your mat. If you're hopping, be stealthy like a puma. We don't want to have the neighbors below hear us hopping. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold over the legs. Press down through your feet. Inhale, breath, rise all the way up to standing, palms touch. Exhale, breath, hands to heart center and down by our sides. Bring hands to hips, bend the knees, fold over the legs. Inhale to lift up halfway. Heel toe the feet a little bit wider, about as wide as your yoga mat. Point your toes out. Bend into your knees, sit into a yogi squat, a malasana squat. Bring hands to heart center. You can always sit onto a block if this is a lot on your hip joints. Now think about squeezing in towards your elbows. This is the same squeezing action that we have in our crow pose, our bakasanas. Now, plant your hands, step just your left foot back, find a lizard pose. Our right toes are pointed out, hands on the inside of the right foot. You can come down to forearms and onto your back knee if you choose. Use your hands to walk yourself up. Plant your hands, lift your back knee. Place your weight in your left hand. Walk the right foot over the left for a side plank. You can set that left knee down if you choose, kicking your left shin like a kickstand. Now from side plank, you can stay here, or maybe you try side plank tree, placing your right foot above or below your left knee. Keep those hips lifted. Keep that left hand drawing into the body, stacking that shoulder over the wrist. Now, from our side plank, let's meet in plank. You can keep that side plank tree. As you set your right hand down, suck that right knee into your chest. Pause. Inhale, lengthen your right leg back to three-legged dog. Exhale, bend your right knee, stack the hips. Look beneath your right shoulder. And start to square off the hips, straighten out that right leg, point those right toes down. Exhale, breath. Step your right foot forward on the outside of your right hand. Point those right toes out. Step your left foot on the outside of your left hand. Point those left toes out. Find a yogi squat. Hands to heart center. Now, you can stay here in your yogi squat, maybe reaching one arm up or the other one. Or if you'd like, we can work our bakasana or crow pose. So an important action in crow pose is this squeezing in of the knees and the upper arms, and also stacking our elbows like chaturanga arms. The higher up we get our knees towards our shoulders, the easier time we'll have floating. One thing I like to do when I was first starting is put a pillow down, just in case you face plant. It does happen. So, to stack up for our Bakasana, let's find this stance on all fours, stacking hips over ankles, shoulders over wrists. Come high into your toes, deep bend into the knees. Bend your elbows, wrapping the back of your elbows towards the back of your mat. Bring the knees on the outside of the upper arms, squeezing them in. Extend the crown of the head forward. Work on picking up one heel and then the other. Maybe you pick up both. Now push into your hands. Push the earth away with your hands. Draw everything up and in. One more breath here. And then set your feet down. Come back into a yogi squat. Wave out the wrists, circle out the wrists. Then plant your hands. Step your right foot back. Find lizard pose on the left side. Point those left toes out. Point that left knee out. You can stay up here or lower your back knee, coming down onto your forearms. Eventually, use your hands to walk yourself up. Lift your back knee. Plant your right hand down, step your left foot over the right, find side plank. Option to lower the right knee for gate pose. If you want to turn up some heat, bend that left knee, place your left foot above or below the right. Keep those hips lifted. Squeegee your right hand in. Turn on all those serratus and lats. Oh my gosh. Now, you can keep your side plank tree legs or go into good old regular plank. Set your left hand down, suck that left knee into your chest. Pause. Inhale the left leg back to three-legged dog. Put a bend into your left knee, stack the hips. Start to straighten out that left leg, point those left toes down. Exhale, breath, step the left foot forward outside your left hand. Point those left toes out. Step your right foot up outside the right hand, point your right toes out. Find a yogi squat. Now, from here, let's plant the hands. Coming into this makeshift table, hips over ankles, shoulders over wrists. Come up onto toes, bend your knees. From here, let's just start working just little baby tuck hops. Make sure you have a nice foundation in your hands first. You can point those fingertips slightly out, press into your index knuckle and your thumb pad, and then get springy on the feet. Just kick your heels in towards your glutes. Stay super shallow at first. No need to get super high up. Doing some little tuck hops. When you're doing your tuck hops, imagine like there's a little fabric at your hip crease, and you have to keep that fabric there with the top of your thighs. You can even grab a shirt or a scarf. Don't lose your shirt. Eventually, you might find that stacking of the hips, but keep sucking your knees down into your chest, and that'll help you from going over. You can pause the video and play around a little more on your own. Otherwise, we'll do 5 more tuck hops. Take your time, go slow, rest in between. Whew, that was my last one. So from here, let's all come into a forward fold, the top of our mats. Take your 2 peace fingers, your index finger and your middle finger, and grab your big toe. Make a little hook, deep bend in your knees. Inhale, extend the crown of the head forward halfway. Exhale, bend your elbows out to the sides, fold over the legs. Deep bend in your knees. Inhale, look forward halfway, release the clasp. Exhale, plant the hands. Step your right foot back, followed by the left. Downward facing dog. Set your kneecaps down. And sit back onto your heels. You can either have the toes flat or turned under. Get your pinky toe involved if they're turned under. Inhale the arms wide. Exhale, wrap the right arm underneath the left for eagle arms or clasp opposite shoulders. Start to release the arms. Come forward through tabletop. Pat out the toes. Walk the knees back. Press into the palms. Keep the hips high as you melt your chest down into puppy pose. If this is a bit intense on your shoulders, you can come up onto elbows, bringing palms together. Or you can take a standing L at a wall or tabletop. Wherever you're at, press into the palms, walk your hands in. Come back to a tabletop on our mats. Sit back onto the heels. Either have the tops of your feet pressing down or turn under those toes if you want to get a fascia stretch on the bottom of the foot. Get that pinky toe involved. Inhale, bring the arms wide. Exhale, wrap the left arm beneath the right. Bring your palms into eagle pose or clasp opposite elbows. Keep lengthening the tailbone down, hugging the ribs in. Bring your elbows in line with your shoulders. Keep widening the collarbones. Release your arms. Come forward to tabletop, pat out those toesies. And then sit onto the heels. Sweep your feet in front of you. Bring the legs out straight in front of you. Hands beneath you, a little bit in front of your hips. Point your fingertips forward. On your inhale, bend the knees. Come flat onto your feet. Lift the hips. Reverse tabletop. Relax your butt cheeks. Sweep the inner thighs down. Lengthen your tailbone forward. Keep your chin into your chest for now. Exhale breath. Sweep the hips beneath the shoulders. Roll onto your heels. Pause here. And then exhale to lower down. Draw your right foot in towards your body. Bend into your right knee. Clasp your right knee with your left hand. Reach your right hand behind you for a spinal twist. Look over that right shoulder. Your left elbow can come on the outside of your right knee if you choose. Start to unwind back to center. Straighten out that right leg. Bring your palms slightly in front of the hips. Inhale, bend the knees. Roll onto the soles of the feet. Lift the hips. Reverse table. This time, if you want, you can hang the head heavy. I like to have my chin to the chest. Feels better for me. One more breath. Then exhale, sweep the hips beneath the shoulders, roll onto the heels, press into the hands. Keep the hips lifted for 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips. Bend your left knee, plant the sole of your left foot. Reach your left hand behind you. Clasp your left knee with your right hand. Drive the twist from the back of your right rib cage. With each inhale, lengthen the crown of the head up. Maybe with each exhale, you twist a little further. Perhaps the right elbow lands on the outside of your left knee. Start to unwind back to center. Lengthen your left leg. Open up your palms towards the ceiling. Firm the belly in as you lower all the way to your back. Bring your arms wide to a T. Bend the knees, soles of the feet flat, and gently windshield wiper the legs from side to side. If you're short on space, cactus your arms. And then lengthen both legs towards the ceiling. You can bring your arms long to your side or beneath your sacrum. Look up. Imagine a blue sky above you. Let the legs drain. We'll start to finish up our practice. You can take this to legs up a wall or into your own shoulder stand variation. Choose wisely. You can always get your feet up on a couch or this little stool like I have. And you can lift the hips a little more, bringing the hands to the back of the hips. You can come into plow pose. Or take 5 to 10 breaths in your shoulder stand. If you're doing shoulder stand, keep pressing through the back of the shoulders. lifting up through the base of your neck. Lengthening the tailbone up. Imagine like your feet are standing on the ceiling and you're lifting up through your heels. Hands come through the back of the ribs where your kidneys are. Wherever you're at, safely make your way down, one vertebrae at a time. If that's from shoulder stand, bend your knees, hug them into your chest. Use the strength of your hands to help lower you down slowly. Option to take a happy baby or supine butterfly, clasping the ankles, bringing soles of the feet together, circling out the hips. In your own time, lengthen your limbs. Make yourself comfortable with blankets or pillows for your final posture, Shavasana. Blink the eyes closed. Rest the hands on your belly. Start to hone in on the body, intuitively sensing the heart beating,